Hey everyone, this is Laura Williamson from Bear Fitness. I have my guest, Mary George, with me. Mary George, say hello to all the
Hi.
people out there. Mary's
Um,
going to talk to us today about being a life coach or a coach in general. She's going to actually explain the differences because I don't know. I'm a personal trainer and a fitness instructor. So for those of you who know me or don't know me, I have my studio in Stoneham, Mass. I'm a personal trainer, Pilates instructor, and a health coach. So, that being said, I am here with you today because I'm all about life and balance in life and doing the things you want to do on your own terms. So, this week, Mary's going to tell us about being a coach. So, Mary, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic on this beautiful day, and I'm happy to see your face. I haven't seen you in person in forever. I miss you a little bit, but I'm
How
happy to
long
see
has that
you.
been?
Yeah, months. It's been at least I
At
don't know,
least 2 months
two
now,
and a
right?
half, a minimum of two. I even want to say somewhere around two and a half at this point. But at any rate, it's good to see you now, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
for coming on with us today. And so we're gonna dig in and hopefully get some really awesome tips and some information from you today. So I'm
Cool.
gonna ask you, what do you do, Mary? What's coaching?
Okay. So I'm sure that a lot of people who are listening to this are kind of in the same boat that you and I are in too, is when have we seen people that we
Yeah.
know? 2 months. And so I think that's an interesting thought before we even get started. So
Hmm.
before we get started, maybe thinking about what have you learned about yourself during this time? What are your experiences being away from those things that you usually do? And just kind of put that in the back burner. So I'm a ICF certified coach. So we'll get into that in a little bit, but what coaching is it's not something I think everybody knows about. So it isn't necessarily just telling somebody to do what to do. So I think what my first exposure to being a coach might be when I was little and I was like playing soccer, basketball, and you have your coach and your team. So a
Hmm.
coach is more of your personal advocate that's here to frame your intentions and help you reach your highest potential. So the way I like to think of myself is I'm a vision maker and a value shaper. So
Hmm.
I'm the person that you seek out to help you find the path that you want to go on. So
Hmm.
it wouldn't be a situation where you'd come in and I would meet you for 5 minutes and learn about you and say, all right, Laura, well, you should open up a bar studio because you'd be amazing at that. My place is more to ask questions and learn about you and help you discover what you're meant to do, what your potential is, maybe get through a difficult situation that you're working on. But I'm more of a person that encourages self discovery and growth. And part of being a coach is that I'm a person to hold people accountable of these things.
Yeah.
And for me, as a person, as you know me, I'm very positive. So helping that accountability and growth in the most positive realm that you can be a part of. Um,
So I have a question. Is this therapy? Is this what exactly is this therapy or is it different from therapy?
Great question. Okay, so therapy would be dealing with the past. So you'd be going back and saying, this happened to me and this is how it affects me. So as a coach, you may think about some of those things, some past experience you may have, but we're about learning from those experiences and planning the future. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So now I feel it. Okay. All right. Wait, does therapy always have to be about my past though? Why isn't it about my present and what I'm going through right here, right now, today, and versus, or are you just more or less trying to help that person move toward, like you said, move toward what it
Forward
is?
motion.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think of coaching is more forward motion. So we're going to
Okay.
take in the learning experiences that you've had in your past, but we're not going to stay in that place. We're going to
Okay.
take what we need, leave the rest, and start to, as I look over our laptops today, because I know we're both obviously in our homes during this
Right.
COVID-19 pandemic, as I'm looking forward, I can see sunlight, I can see trees, and I'm kind of thinking about everything that's in front of me.
Hmm.
And that's the place I try to get to with my clients.
Yeah, but isn't it an idea that a lot of people have a difficulty knowing what's in front of them, or how to get to, or how even to make a path for themselves to get to where? Like, how do you help a person figure that out? How does that happen?
Amazing question. So I think that that's what is the hardest part about the self-discovery that people need to go, that people get on with a coach, is that I'm here to start to unfold that, and hopefully through great questions and making them feel supported, we can start to take little baby steps towards them finding that vision. So I believe the question is, what, maybe it's for me to reframe it, is, what if you can't see that vision?
Right.
Can you,
Okay.
coach, help me? And I think that in those situations, I think it's important to just think about maybe 2 days ahead, or thinking about something that you always had in the back of your mind that may not be the life-changing, life-altering goal that you've wanted to accomplish, but just a little baby step of something that you may be struggling to do, and then see what it unfolds and you discover from making that change. Does that answer your question?
That does. So, all right. So I'm going to back up a little bit, because I'd like our audience to know a little more about you. So let's start from not quite the very beginning, but the beginning. How did you get certified? Where did this all start?
Okay, so I went to Rutgers University, and I went through a program which I feel like I need to always remember the exact name of it. So it's Leadership Coaching for Organizational Performance.
Mm-hmm.
So through this program, you become an ICF, which is the International Coaching Federation's certified coach. So before we get into going to that class, I want to tell you guys a little bit about how I came to saying, like, wait, I think I want to become a coach. So my degree is in exercise science, and even when I was little, I always wanted to be a personal trainer. So I loved health and wellness. I played a lot of sports when I was younger, and I didn't necessarily always love competition of sports, but I loved the physical aspect. So I became a personal trainer. And deep down, I'm a very empathetic person, and I really like people. So as a personal trainer, I would sit with people on Monday, and I would set up their goals with them and learn about all these things they wanted to accomplish. And my best and my worst quality is I can see all those things. So I'm sold. If you tell me that that's what you want to do, I'm there, I'm ready to go. And then it would become Friday, and everything would fall apart for those people. Mm-hmm. So but what about Monday? Like, what happened? I was there with you. I was so excited. And then what happened? So being a personal trainer, as you're a personal trainer, a lot of your viewers have probably been to health clubs, know about what that kind of industry looks like. So why everybody around me was really interested in kettlebell swings and all the different versions of lunges, I was kind of more interested in what was happening to people. So what happened between Monday and Friday that didn't get you to eat those meals or to get as much sleep as you wanted to? So I kind of started to shift my focus in my training into asking more questions and learning more about the 23 hours when they weren't with me. So I like to think of it as a behavioral change model. So that may be also kind of a phrase that you may have heard before. So the stages of change, or for me, the way I like to explain it to people are, if I gave you 3 things to change today, the chance of you changing them are 5%. If I gave you 2 things to change, maybe 25%. But if there was just one little thing today you could change, what would be the outcome with that one little thing? So it goes back to a question you had earlier. What if your people can't totally see that big vision of, I want to quit my job and I want to start a nonprofit based off of, whatever they feel passionate about? What if that's too big? But what if today you just wanted to get some more sleep? So what if for the next 7 days we started to get more sleep? So I started to work in that realm. So I started to think of that more with my clients. And then from the location I was at, I was dealing with a lot of higher up executives, and they started talking to me about the things that were happening at work. So handling meetings, handling global travel, what were, the stresses they were coming to them. So I just kept enjoying those conversations. So I decided that I really enjoyed that just as much, if not more, as the actual physical program of exercise. So that's what brought me to Rutgers, was that I wanted to not only become a coach, but to learn more about the leadership and organizational performance side, so I could help the people I was working with even more, not only achieve their goals in the gym, but help them have more balance in their everyday life. Does that answer the question?
So we're in, as you mentioned earlier, and as we're all aware, we're sitting in the middle of a pandemic. So that being said, people are having a lot of difficulty finding motivation, staying motivated. It seems to be one extreme or the other, especially when I think about some of my clients that I'm working with. People do things in their own time, and some people, they're a little stagnant right now. So for those people who want to do more but feel as though they cannot, where would you start with them? What would you advise them to do to help them get through a rough patch? Like if you've always worked out and now suddenly you don't feel motivated, or you want to work out and now is a great time, to make some changes, but you're not sure whether, like, what kind of advice would you give for people at home? Because things are difficult for a lot of reasons, and there's a lot going on with a lot of people, but where's a good starting point?
I think starting with something small. So for people who are used to working out and they've always been at gyms and now they find themselves, maybe they've always had a trainer. Now they find themselves unmotivated. Maybe starting off with not, okay, this week I'm going to work out 6 times this week, maybe trying to do 1 or 2 workouts. Trying to do something that's easy they can do at home. Maybe not pushing it as hard as they always do, but noticing that change, that it's better than what they did last week and building on it. And maybe if somebody has never done it before, but now's the best time, maybe they could seek out your services or my services and see how we could just start to do something little. So it doesn't mean that you go on Instagram and you follow that amazing fitness professionals program that has you jumping on boxes and push-ups across the deck, whatever that looks like. Maybe you say, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to go for a walk in a time that I feel comfortable, and maybe it's not that full on, but kind of listening a little bit more to your body and trying to be kind to yourself.
I mean, I think that's awesome advice. Again, I do all the above, but, more importantly, similar to yourself, I'm not a life coach of sorts, but I've had to coach many of my clients. And, I have to be mindful and respectful of where a person is, at that point in time. And some days people come in and they're exhausted and like, I'm not having a good day today, which is why I always ask. And I ask and I genuinely want to know what's going on, because that really is going to determine how the workout's going to go. If I throw a hard workout at you, how well is that workout going to go? Is it going to make you feel better? Is it going to make you feel worse? And so for me, that's always important. What in your intuition about how you're feeling, I rely on that. And I obviously have to pay attention. But again, I'm not you. I'm not the next person. But if I can work a person, I will always try to push you past the point that you think you're capable. However, again, depending on the day, if you're not in that space, I don't push. I have a tendency to leave it. So why can't I coach myself? Why do I need someone like yourself, such as yourself? Why do I need your assistance, your help? Why can't I do it? Why can't my friend do it? Why can't my husband do it? Why can't I do it?
Why can't your husband do it? I think the best way to answer that question is maybe to tap into something that you struggle with. So a very personal example for myself is that I'm not the most organized person in my home. So I know that for myself, I need to seek out that help. So somebody comes in and they clean your house, organize it. It's a service that when that person leaves, I can feel that I'm more able to accomplish more than I would if I was trying to clean, trying to dust, trying to organize, and it gives me that sense of being free. So I think some goals are easier than others. So I think if it's something that you haven't been able to accomplish before and you've given it a couple of tries, that's kind of the checkpoint that you want to reach out and seek out some professional help. but I think also somebody who's non-biased, who can see you in a different way than you see yourself. So coaching, so my cleaning example is kind of just like a generic thinking about, it's something that I struggle with, so it's easier if somebody helps me. But in terms of coaching, um, we get really stuck in our own heads. So we get stuck in our heads about experiences that we've had, the responsibilities that we have, the way people are going to view us, all of our own insecurities come into play. And a coach is there to, again, foster that relationship and help you become the best that you can be. And taking into consideration all those fears and unknowns that are happening. So an example of that is when you asked me to do this coaching interview and learning more about coaching. The first thing I thought was, I don't think I want to be on camera. I'm not ready. I'm not prepared. Like, I don't have my website up. Mm-hmm. Like, what is the people that I know that are on Laura's Facebook page? What are they going to think of me? And I'm going to tell you, like, that's heavy stuff. Like, that's a lot to think about. I remember sitting in this room last week when you texted me, and I started to think of all of the reasons, I'm like getting emotional about it, all of the reasons that I didn't want to do it. And I was like, wait, I have a client from that time. I have a client from that time. But any excuse, well, this really wasn't planned, was it? Like, any excuse that I could make not to do it, I literally thought about it. And then I was like, no, but I love Laura, so I gotta do it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to love your coach, but I think it means that you're able to recognize that within yourself and be able to seek out assistance in getting over that block. So I've had a coach myself, and I think it's really important to do the work. And one time I was having an issue of another kind of like life thing, like, what if this happens and what if that happens? And it was really interesting because the coach, I had never met the person before. We had just talked on the phone, and the coach had me visualize that I was a plane and I was going to go through a cloud. And the cloud was a little bit of a rain cloud, but I knew that there was sun on the other side. And that visualization literally was a game changer for me, because I was like, yeah, I'm going to try something new. If it doesn't work out, there's going to be sun on the other side. And I think that's probably very
attitude. I like that visual.
Yeah, that was good, right?
Yeah.
This coach thought of it for me. But I think that it's probably also can be tied into a lot of experiences that people around us are having right now. We're kind of in the cloud. We're not sure what's going to happen. But being able to have the parameters to think that there's going to be something better on the other side. If maybe you lost your job during this time, your business has changed, that person can just help you talk through it and try to set up something so you have a positive space to look forward to in the future.
So what you're saying is I should set goals. Why should I set goals? Why is it important? If, do I really need to set goals to get to where I'm going? Like, why can't there are some people who just, they get up, they're like, you know what, let's just see what the day brings me. Let's see how things roll out.
Me too. So goals can be kind of heated, right? It's kind of a controversial topic in coaching. So what I noticed with my personal training clients when I did more personal training was that it was always the next. So the next, I'm going to hit this goal. I'm going to run the mile in this time. I'm going to run 2 miles in that time. And then there's a part of it that you become almost an adrenaline junkie. So you're always reaching towards that goal. So as a coach, I want to walk a fine line of that. So I want to have goals because I want to be constantly working to be my best. But as the coach, I want to make sure that my client, why they're reaching for those goals, why they're in that space, that they're taking accountability of everything around them. So what does it feel like when you hit that goal? What were some of the implications? How was your family during that time? What was your learning moment from hitting that goal? How did not hitting that goal feel? Did it slow down your progress towards the bigger vision that you have? So a little bit of both. Yes, you need goals because it gives you something to aspire to and something to hold accountability. So forward progress keeps happening. But as a coach, I want to keep you in the present and noticing everything around you that's happening. Because a lot of my clients come to me also for that lifestyle change, so that they work a lot or they're very involved in their children's lives and they want to kind of mesh into having a little bit more balance. So sometimes, a goal of, turning off your laptop at 7 p.m. is a hard thing for someone to accomplish. But what happens when you do that? What do you feel like? Did it make you feel anxious? Did it make you be less productive at work? And I want to take into account everything around them. So does that answer your question about goals?
It does. So when you're coaching a client, how many days a week? What does this require? I assume it's going to vary person to person, but ideally, how much time does someone need working with you?
Okay, so it's very different for everyone. So some people, I really don't see people more than once a week, but some people are also, I'll see them every other week or once a month, depending on their goal. I try to have people continue with coaching for at least 3, 6, 12 months, something in a time frame. So it's not just a one-off of like, oh, I'm going to meet with my coach. Because every session kind of builds off the next session. Okay. And to be honest with you, I'm a very involved person. I get, like I said at the beginning, I get really emotionally involved. So I want to see people succeed. So I have a lot of accountability with my clients. We do lots of different check-ins. So seeing how people are going, and sometimes you just need that support throughout the week. And then some people don't need that support. Some people come to you at, every 2 weeks, Thursday at 12 o'clock, and they're like, boom, 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 here's the things I want to talk to you about today. And then these are things that happen, here's the reflection point, and they go out into the world. So it's different for everyone. And some people come for just one short goal. They want to be able to communicate with their CFO better in a meeting and be more relatable for their younger staff. And that might be a 3-month goal that we work on. But for some people, it's a bigger picture. And then for that, that CFO a person who wants to communicate better with their CFO, what other things came up during that time that they got to learn about themselves? Does that help?
So that definitely helps. So how can people find you? We have your information scrolling across the screen, obviously.
Yeah, that's
but if someone wants to give you a whirl, give you a try, how may we find Mary?
So we could email me. That could be a good one.
Okay.
Text me. I'm available. That would be the best way. I am going to put up a website soon to kind of answer some more questions about coaching and what the specialties that I would be the best coach for you. So I think that's the best way. You can always contact Laura, and she could give you my information as well.
And what kind of advice? Again, I come back to the current events. What kind of advice would you give people out there right now who are just trying to get through on a day-to-day? What do you think? There are various issues, obviously. Like you said, there's work, people working, not working, unemployment, moms at home. I mean, I can go through the list and I can keep going. There are people who are losing their businesses. There are people who can't eat. There are just so many things. Is there a general recommendation you would give or could give to people as far as just maintaining some type of mental health and just trying to look for the sun on the other side of the clouds going through? What would you recommend?
So I think for the first part of it is just to be really kind to yourself. So to be able to take in those feelings and recognize them and not beat yourself up about it. So the first thing that came to mind is if you said you were going to do something today and you wake up and you don't feel yucky. So say you said, tomorrow I'm going to go on a 3-mile run. And you just don't feel it. And the world is coming in on you, and we've all been there, and a lot of us are there right now. Maybe you just tell yourself, I'm going to get outside and I'm going to walk for 5 minutes. I'm going to get some fresh air. So I think that's just noticing every day what's different for you and trying to practice self-love as much as possible. And I know that's really hard. And there's lots of responsibilities that people have. Family members are sick, worrying about where your next meal is going to come, how you're going to feed your children, all those things. And my heart breaks for all those things. I think another thing is limiting your screen time. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to read the news as opposed to see the news, it can be a very anxiety building situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the other thing is something that we're hearing a lot is just reaching out to your loved ones, reaching out to your network. I call my friends my tribe. Like, I like
Right.
my tribe, and like trying to smile and laugh, and if you can see their face, because that's about the most realist interaction that we can have right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think who knows what's going to happen, but if you can try as hard as you can to imagine that there will be something better, and I know there will be, like this will be over and there will be something on the other side to look forward to. And maybe maybe I'm looking forward to having a picnic with you in the park.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that day will come one day. We might be wearing masks and
We
we
used
have
to do
to put a
that.
straw through, and that's okay. We'll
Sure.
sneeze in the park. But like something, not making it. And then one more quick thing I thought was interesting is I am a person who has a tendency to look at my phone and be on Instagram. And one of the things I saw is exactly the thing that a coach isn't going to tell you. It's okay to not do anything in this time too. It's okay if you don't change your career, if you don't lose 20 pounds, if you don't cook dinner every night. Maybe you just get through the day, and that's cool. And maybe you found a show that you want to watch on TV, and that's your form of meditation. That's your form of relaxation, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's what I've done. I mean, kudos to you, whatever you choose to do. But I think you're absolutely right. You just do the best you can. You're just trying to get through right now. This is a lot for everyone. No one's exempt from where I'm sitting. I think you can only find, that light, like you said, on the other side. At least do the best you can. But I think now the difference is, I remember I had a conversation last week, and, someone was saying how they hadn't been on the internet because people aren't kind. And, amazingly enough, there were a couple of people who were just like, well, no, that has been true in the past. But I have to say, I feel like, and I have to agree right now that people are being a little kinder
Yeah.
to one another right now, because you just don't know what someone's going through. And just know that, the support is out there. It doesn't always have to come from someone and I don't always know everybody that's on Facebook, like personally. Like I might know them through friends, because that's kind of how Facebook works. But if I see something up online, and I'll say, yeah, kudos to you, or that's cool, or that's awesome, or words, they have a lot of meaning and they go a long way. And so, as a health coach, it's important that, I feel like I should be positive too. And I also have my days where I'm just like, oh, what am I doing? In order for me to start my business, this is my second show. I haven't done this in 3 years. And I'm sure probably everyone here has no idea this has ever happened or I ever did it. You probably do, because you've known me for quite some time now. But this is a passion for me. But this is one of the reasons why I do this, because I want people to know that it's not only about working out and eating your vegetables. And, again, it's about balance and living your life, on your own terms, whatever that means to you, and just, I want people to feel well and be well. And that's, I think for me, that's valuable. And then the rest of it, that's like the cherry on top of the sundae.
Right.
So,
can I add one more thing to that?
absolutely.
So what you may not know, people out there who are listening to this, is that being a Pilates instructor, being a personal trainer, you are an expert of the body. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, but we have a love for the body and we study it a lot. So one of the things I did learn through coaching, and I should be able to quote this research a little bit better, is that there's now research out there that says being in that positive realm sends a signal to your central nervous system to be supported. And when you go to the negative, think about when you're stressed out about taking a test, or you had a really stressful time at work. It sends a signal to your central nervous system, just like you had the flu. So it brings your immune system down. Now, if anyone turns on the news anytime, today, tomorrow, in the near future, in the present past, like in the past we just had, we know we want our immune system to be the highest.
Right.
And that's hard, right? So it's hard when you see all these things coming at you, but being positive is probably just as good as any vitamin that you're going to take. Because the positive, they call it the positive attractor, it actually boosts your immune system. So trying the hardest you can and working with what you have.
Mary,
Williamson.
I miss you. I have to tell you, I miss you.
Thank you.
But, tell us one more time how we can find you. We're about to sign off.
Okay. So my email's at the bottom of the screen, MaryG796.
There it is. There it goes.
You can reach out to Laura Williamson. You can grab my phone number from her if you'd like. You can call me on my cell phone. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, and I'm going to have a website up soon, which hopefully I can share with you through Laura. My little vision is that there's going to be a professional website and it's going to be a fun one too. Nice. So do you like coaching? Do you like cocktails? We'll see.
So, all right. You're on. We're going to make a date. Okay. So everyone, that's it for us today. Is awesome seeing you again. This is Laura Williamson from Bear Fitness at the studio in Stoneham, and we'll be virtual training right next to you, wherever that is for you in the world. But at any rate, have a great day, everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.